Hello, everyone. Mark Stevens, CEO of Trévo. I want to welcome you to our Facebook Live event today. I'm going to be answering some questions from people in the field, and then I have some training that I want to do that I hope will inspire your life and take you to the next level of extraordinary in your journey. So I'm going to start off by looking at some of the questions that we have. And the first question that came was, in a world of substandard and toxicity tainted food supply, in your inspired opinion, what is the best way to effectively communicate the need for nutritional supplementation? Well, you know, over the years, we've done a lot of research, and there's so much documentation that is out there that talks about how that our foods are depleted of the vital nutrients because of the soil that they're grown in, and a lot of the pesticides that are used in the growing of food. And so there's a lot of toxicity in many foods, and many of them are depleted of nutrients, and so our bodies are not getting the nutrients that they need. We also know for sure that our water is polluted, our air is polluted. And another contributing factor is that we live in one of the most stressful societies at any time in the world. And so all of these things contribute to nutrients being pulled out of our body. And I think probably one of the biggest things that would be evidence of this is that we live in one of the sickest societies at any time in the history of the world. Young children are getting diseases that were only reserved really for adults, like things like arthritis. And so we live in this world where if we don't supplement our body, there is no way for our body to be able to become balanced and to stay well. And for me, I'm very passionate about this because as many of you know, I grew up in a home where my mother was chronically ill all of my life. And I watched her go from doctor to doctor and be prescribed one pharmaceutical drug after another. And I watched as the side effects of those drugs played a detrimental role in her health, in her well-being, and the quality of life that she has been able to live. And so knowing that when you watch an ad on television and it talks about this drug, and then at the end of the commercial, they go on and on and on and list all of the side effects of that pharmaceutical drug, my response is always, wow, whatever I have, I'd rather just keep that because at least I know what it is, instead of taking a chance of getting something else that could be even worse than what I would be dealing with now. And so there's just so much toxicity in the world that it's so important that we understand that, first of all, we have to take responsibility for our health. So we are the gatekeeper of our body. And so what we allow to go into our body will determine the quality of health that we live. And so I encourage people to eat a healthy diet. Certainly we want to put the best in our body. That doesn't mean you have to eat a perfect diet. You know, some people eat to live, others live to eat. I'm on the latter part of that. I love food, and I'm not going to sacrifice all the great food that I love all the time, but I live a balanced, healthy life. But the supplementation is really the key. And that's why we love our, flagship product, Trévo. Has 174 vital nutrients in it. And the reason that it has 174 nutrients is because the nutrients in Trévo addresses all the different systems of the body. Our body is very complex. And so if we aren't giving the different systems nutrients that are going to help that part of the body be well, then we're simply not having a full spectrum of supplementation. And there is no product on the market anywhere in the world like Trévo. Trévo has all of your vitamins, your minerals, your essential fatty acids, your fruits, your vegetables. We have exotic fruits. We have sea vegetables. There's so many powerful nutrients in the sea. It has super green foods, has coral calcium. It has the most powerful antioxidants. Antioxidants kill free radicals that help prevent disease cells. And so the power of this, of understanding about supplementation, but all supplementation is not the same. Most supplementations a lot of people take, they literally absorb maybe 20% of those nutrients, and the rest they flush out of their body. Trévo works at a cellular level, and so it gets into the body, and that's why the testimonies around the world are great. And so understanding that there are a lot of toxicities in the world. Our foods are depleted of nutrients. That's fact. But the reality is there's a truth, and that is that there is a way for an individual to supplement their body so they can live well. And that is my greatest passion, is that other families in the world don't go through what our family went through, which is chronic illness and the effects that that has on the entire family. We want every man, woman, and child on the planet to live well, and that's really important to us. So the next question is, for a new Trévo life and health coach who desires success, what is the first things that they need to do to start making money with Trévo? Well, you know, it's like anything else. If you want to grow a great business, there are things that you have to do before you have success. And here's one of the things I tell people is that at Trévo, we don't create false expectations. I love the industry that we're in. I believe that it is a way that any individual from any background can come and own their own business and create success. So it's an incredible industry. But also, there's always good and bad to any industry that you're involved in. And so many times in our industry, people tell you that you just join a company, get in, get a few people, and you're going to become a millionaire. Well, that's absolutely false. I've been in this industry over 25 years. I have created success both as a distributor and I've created success as an owner of a company. And so I tell people is that there is a process you have to go through. And some of the work is underground. It's the work that's done before you see success. And you may not want to hear that. You're just looking to make a quick dollar. Well, if that's the case, our company's not for you. Our company is about building people. We're about people developing themselves and becoming the best version of themselves. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the first thing you have to do is have a desire. Do you really have a desire for success? And number two is, are you willing to pay the price? Now that's where we lose a lot of people, because a lot of people, they want success. You know, you see someone and they're living what we call the extraordinary lifestyle. You know, they have all of the great things in life. They're happy, they're joyful, they're living that life of extraordinary. But there's a price that has to be paid for that, and many people don't want to pay that price. You see, while most people are out just, having fun and doing their own thing, people who create success, they are working. They're working on themselves and they're working on their business. And so I want to tell you that the first thing, that underground work, is about building your belief. You know, if you really want success, is build your belief. We'll talk about that in a moment also, but you've got to build your belief, and you've also have to be a product of the product. How can you share your experience with someone else with passion and with conviction if you're not a daily user of the product? Since we developed Trévo, I take Trévo every single day. There would be a rare instance that I did not take Trévo. It may have been because I was in transit, maybe something happened that I didn't take it, but I take Trévo every day because I know what the nutrients do for my body, and I know how it makes me feel. My daughter is a great example of that, is being a product of the product. She has taken Trévo since she was a young teenager. In fact, when we were developing Trévo, it's been about 12, 13 years ago when we actually were in the development stages. The company's only been in business for 7.5 years, but we started developing 4.5 years before we released the product. And she was our taster. And so she would be the one that would go to the lab with me to taste the product, because I knew if she loved the way it tastes, then, then it would be a great product. And so being a product of the product is critical, because that's what stirs your passion, and that's what stirs your unwavering belief in what the product can do. We have other products in Trévo now. So if you want to talk about those products, you need to use them. Now, there are some products that are specifically geared to men or women. So if you're a woman, you'll need to have your husband or your boyfriend try some of those products, and you'll need to try the specific ones for women. But Trévo is our core product, and every person, if you're in the business and you want success, then you have to be a product of the product. And then number two is you have to be willing to work. Wow, what a novel idea. You have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to do it consistently and persistently until you achieve results. And see, results come for each person differently. Maybe someone has more contacts than another person, and so maybe they can move their business forward faster. But that doesn't mean that the other person can't have success. It just may take them a little bit longer. But I believe whatever we endure in life builds character, and it builds strength in us. And in the long run, which is what we want you to have, is long-term success, it will create strength in you that will carry you through all the ups and downs of your business. I bet you haven't ever heard someone tell you that in this industry, is there are ups and downs in this business. And so paying the price means you're willing to go through the ups and downs and the highs and the lows, and you're willing to be consistent, persistent in building your business. So the activities that you do is you are talking to people, but your motivation to talking to people is critical in your success. Are you talking to people to use them for your gain? If that's your motivation, you will not be successful. Your motivations have to be that you want to help people. So are you wanting the person you're talking to, do you want them to have better health? Do you want the quality of their life to be better? Do you want them to be able to create an income so that they can live their dreams? Or is it all about you? So your motives are very critical in this business. So if you are a product of the product, and you have a passion for our products, and you have a passion for people, you can create success if you're willing to do the work. And the work is talking to enough people, because you're talking to people to create retail customers. You want to have a huge retail customer base of people buying from you every month, whether they're buying from you direct and you're delivering the product, or they're using your shop site and they're buying direct from the company and you're getting credit for that sale. But you want to build a great retail business. And then number two is you want to build a great team of like-minded people. And we'll talk about the power of community in this segment. So that's some advice that I would give you. The next question that was given is, what is the best advice you've ever been given? Okay, there are two things I want to talk about here. One is two things. One is, don't let others define you. That's probably one of the best advice that someone's given me, is not to allow what other people think to define who I believe I am and to define how successful I believe I can become. And so I, long time ago, quit worrying about what people think about me. And one of the things that I found in life is the more successful you become, the more people will think negatively of you. Why? Because there's a lot of people out there that they don't want to do the work, and therefore they don't have, extraordinary success. So they look at people that do have it and they want to pull them down so they can stay at their level, so they can feel good about themselves. So what I learned a long time ago is, don't worry about what other people think about you, and don't let them define you, because the only person that can define you is your Creator, God. And then you get to decide whether you act on what He says about you or what others say about you. The second thing is this. It's a financial thing, and that is to save some, to spend some, and to give some. Having a strong, as you're building your Trévo business, is understanding just what I said earlier, that there are ups and downs in a business, that if you save some, then you have a peace of mind during those times, that you have financial security. I was just talking to one of our leaders in another country just a few days ago, and I have taught this for many years, and he said his business has had some ups and it's had a few downs because of economic situations going on in some of the countries that he's working in. But he said, you know what, Mark, my family's fine because I took your advice. I saved some. Has he spent some? Absolutely. He went from being a renter to now owns multiple apartments that he not only lives in one, but he also rents, so he has an income. So he has spent some, and he spends some on a great lifestyle for his family. And then giving. Giving is your seed to your future blessing. If you are not a giver, then do not expect to be extraordinary, because your giving is what sets you up for your next level of blessing in your life. So the next question was, what's the best advice you've ever given or received? So for me, it would be the same thing. When I'm giving advice to people, I give exactly what I was given that I feel has helped me in my life. The next question, on those days that it's hard to show up, how do you get there? How do I get there? I get there by being consistent with my daily rituals. And I'm going to share with you in a moment what those rituals are and how that no matter what's going on in life, because our circumstances are always changing. You know, my life is not easy. I have days that I would like to pull the covers over my head and not face that day. But you know what? I know who I am. I know what I was created to do. I know where I'm going. And so I use the rituals to get me through those tough times. And all of us have those times when we doubt, times when we have fear, times when we're confused, times when things just don't seem to move. But here's the thing is that if you keep on moving yourself, your circumstances will move. The next question is, what does an extraordinary lifestyle mean, and what does it mean to live an extraordinary life? Well, that question really leads me in to what I want to talk to you about in the training portion that we're going to use on this time together. And that is, living extraordinary is a way of life. It is a way that you live. It's not just a word of live an extraordinary lifestyle, because that's what we talk about at Trévo, is living an extraordinary lifestyle. But it's not just about the things that you have. And that's where people get confused, is that our business in Trévo is about people living extraordinary, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially, because it is about your entire whole life. I might meet people all the time that say, you know what, don't bring religion into business. And guess what? We don't bring religion into Trévo. But what we do bring in is relationship. And we believe that our relationship with God is the foundation for everything in our life. And I will never make that a smaller part than what it is, because it's not a small part, it's everything. It affects everything that you are. And so it's about your lifestyle, about the person that you are becoming, how you live your life, how you treat others. This is all about our lifestyle in Trévo. And so what I believe is that it is our belief of who we are and what we are here on earth to do that sets us up for extraordinary. You see, if you have the wrong beliefs, it will keep you from living the extraordinary life. So at Trévo, as we bring new people into our business, what we want them to do is discover who they really are. And here's what I want to get people to, is their belief as a child. You see, we have really two beliefs. One is a belief as a child, and the other is a belief as an adult. Our belief as a child is when we were in a time in our life when we believed we could do anything. There was nothing that we couldn't do. We were invincible. And so that is where we get into a position of belief that sets us up for success that leads us to extraordinary. I've used this example many times, is that when I was a young boy, probably 6, maybe 7 years old, I had watched this show on television, and the people on the show were parachuting. I thought that looked really cool, and of course I wanted to do it. And I was one of those children, kind of like, if you know the comic strip Dennis the Menace, I was always kind of testing the limits, always trying to kind of push the border there. And so I remember my parents were gone, and I went through the house, and my mother had all these pillows on her sofa, pillows on the bed, all things. And I gathered all those pillows out, and I took them out into the front yard, and I spread them out all over the yard. I got a sheet off of the bed and somehow made my way up to the roof of our home. And I was going to use the sheet as a parachute, jump off the roof of our home onto the pillows. Great idea, right? Well, fortunately, right before I jumped, I guess my father had made it home. And as I began to jump, he reached to catch me. And so he saved me. Who knows what could have happened? But what I want to get across is I thought I could do it, that nothing was impossible for me to do. And that is when you get into that belief that you believe in yourself and you believe you can do anything, is when you can do anything. But it's when we become an adult and we have left our child belief, which is pure belief, and we get into adult belief, which is filtered belief. And that comes from the damage that we experience in our life. Disappointments, being mistreated, abuse, failures, all of those things began to create this filter, and our belief begins to be limited. Child, unlimited. Adult, limited. And so what we want to do at Trévo is help people get back to that pure belief and understanding. And that's where we talk about that God created every person for greatness, with unlimited potential, to be able to do things that they thought they could never do, and achieve things that they had given up on. Now that's my belief. I will never waver in that. I believe that every person has greatness within them. They have everything that they need to be successful. When I'm traveling around the world, I'm speaking. One of the things that I ask is, I ask people, I said, how many of you in the room today need a miracle? Raise your hand. Oh, guess what? Every hand in the room usually goes up. And I say, guess what? I came here today to tell you where your miracle is. People get really excited. They kind of scoot up to the edge of their chair. And I say, when you leave this event today, I want you to find the first mirror that you can find. When you get to that mirror, look in the mirror, and the reflection looking back at you, that's the only miracle that you need. You see that God has placed everything within you that you need for success in life, to live extraordinary. But your job is to unlock that, to grow that. And what I love about Trévo is that when you become a part of Trévo, you're not alone in that process. You get to join a community and become a part of a group where you can be celebrated, where you can learn together, where you can have someone to hold you accountable. Accountability is so critical in life. It's having people that know you, having people that understand your dreams and your objectives and your goals, and they keep you on the straight and narrow. I certainly know in my own life how critical that has been for me. And at Trévo, we are all about community. We're about groups of people coming together to celebrate one another. And one of the things is that in our communities, it's so diverse. We have people from all different age groups. We have people from different backgrounds. There are doctors, there are factory workers, there are people from all backgrounds in our company, and then there are different cultures. I've had the privilege of traveling around the world and speaking to tens of thousands of people around the world about this very subject, about our company, about our communities. And I'm so amazed at the differences in people, how we think, and the way that we see the world. But the other thing is I see the commonality in all of us. And the commonality in all of us is we all want to be loved. We all want to be valued. We all want to contribute. And we all want success. We all want to be successful. The level of success we want can be different, but we all want success at some level in our life. And we want peace and security and joy. And that's our goal at Trévo as we work together. And I believe that as we come together as a community and we do life together, we do business together, we really encourage one another. It helps us to get the next thing is our belief in success and then our thinking, because our belief determines how we think, and our thinking leads to our actions and the kind of actions that we do in life that lead us to success in business. So I believe that maintaining the right thinking is a life process. See, nothing that takes you from level to level to level in life is something that is a quick fix, something that you do once and then it's done. It's just like being in good physical shape. I wish that you could go to the gym and work out one time and it's done, but that's not the case. I have to get up almost every single day and go to the gym, do cardio, work out with my trainer, and do the things, eat properly in order to have good results. If I stop that, the progress that I made begins to go backwards. I would begin to gain weight, my muscle tone would begin to get less, and I would become less physically fit. The same thing is true in our journey of building our business and building our life, is that our thinking is critical to our success. Without the right thinking, then we're doomed. There's no way to maintain a success journey without really getting your thinking properly. And so I believe that it's a process, number one, and number two is you cannot do it alone. And this is one of the lessons I've learned, is that you cannot live life as an island. You cannot say, I'm going to do this on my own and I don't need anyone to help me. No, then you've set yourself up for failure. It's just like in my physical journey, I have a personal trainer that's absolutely incredible, and he helps me stay focused and teaches me the right things to do. So I can never accomplish what I've accomplished on my own. And in this business, you can never do it on your own. That's why we have communities, so that we keep one another accountable. So creating an extraordinary life and extraordinary business is not for the weak thinker. It is for people that come together. That comes together and they build their strength. So in your thinking, building your thinking, so you become stable in your thinking. Why do people fail? Because they're up and down. One day they're excited, the next day they're at the bottom because someone tells them no and it's over. This business doesn't work. Are you getting me? But see, if you have a community of people that can support you, then they help you learn to think stable and to stay stable. And it requires that as our thinking matures and we become stronger, we become bold. in our thinking. And we really become outrageous in our vision. You know, our vision for Trévo is outrageous because our thinking is stable. Our thinking is bold. We plan on building a multi-billion-dollar company globally all around the world. We're already in about 36 countries, but we haven't even gotten started yet. The things we're working on in Trévo right now for our future, 2019 beyond, are going to be life-changing for every person that is a part of our company. The products we're coming out with, the systems we're coming out with, no one can even touch us. And so we're super excited. We have outrageous vision for where we're going, and we have outrageous expectations. In our company, we encourage people to have outrageous expectations. Don't expect small, expect big, and expect it to be extraordinary. And living extraordinary is a way of life. And I believe that working with people and coming together and supporting one another is critical to your success. Remember, you can't do it alone. So I told you earlier in the call, I would share kind of my personal rituals of what I do that help me to keep my thinking straight and help me stay on a course towards success. Now, believe me, in this journey, of this process, I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of challenges that I have faced in my life, things that have tried to really destroy my future and my destiny. And I've had to learn to engage these rituals that have really transformed my life and are transforming my life on a daily basis. So the first thing is, every day I start my day with my time with God, in reading and praying and making declarations. It's not enough just to read and pray. You have to begin to talk to your life. What is it that you believe about your future and about who you are and where you're going? And that building that up, I can get up in the morning and be stressed or concerned about circumstances. But when I stop and I take that time, it helps to balance me, to refocus me, and get me understanding and reminding me of truth. Now, truth is everything in your thinking, is thinking truth, because there's a lot of things people think about that aren't true, okay? So number two is having a support system. I am so blessed. I have a great support system in my family. So my daughter and my wife knows everything about me. There's nothing she doesn't know about me. We live an authentic, honest relationship, and she loves me in spite of my weaknesses, in spite of my challenges, and she supports me and encourages me in my journey. And my daughter, Alexandria, she loves her dad unconditionally, and they know me. They know the things that challenge me. And when they see that I might be getting off track, they're quick to say, we're noticing something. You got to address it and get on track. And they help me do that. And then third is I'm involved in men's groups that I learned with, that challenge me, that hold me accountable, that help me to be a better man and to be a better person in life. And then I have business associates that teach me things, that mentor me, that help me stay on track. These are things that I do on a daily basis that help me to become the best that I can be. And these daily rituals are built one day at a time, lived out one day at a time, and they turn into an extraordinary lifestyle. So if you want to have extraordinary in your life, you have to, one, is have the right motives, and that is becoming the best version of yourself. And number two, that you understand why you were put here on earth. And why you were put here on earth is to serve others. Most people serve themselves first, and then everyone else gets the leftovers. But that's contrary to how God created us. He created us to serve others, and through serving others, we too get to live an extraordinary life. I have one last question that I'm gonna do very quickly, and that is, I keep sharing Trévo and the healthy lifestyle with others, but they don't respond. What advice do you have for me? Well, you're talking to people that don't have ears to hear. You see, that's what I'm talking about the process, is that if you believe in it, your job is to find others that believe. In our journey of building the business, finding both customers and finding life and health coaches, is we have to find the right people. I've always said you can never say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. It's just about keeping on. Keep talking to people until you find the right people. I think what a lot of people do that delays their success in our business is they keep trying to convince people because they believe in the product. They've had a personal experience with the product, and so they want that person to experience it. But you can't make people. I've always trained people about building a business is that you never beg people, you never convince people, you never argue with people, you don't drag people into this business. If they don't see it, move on to another person. There are plenty of people in the world that want what you have. So stop wasting your time trying to convince people. It may be your family. It may be your best friend. It doesn't matter. If they don't see what you see, they're not the right person. Now, one thing I always tell people is always treat people kind when they reject you. And the reason is because it's a timing issue. You see, right now, that person you're talking to may be healthy, and so they don't believe that supplementation is important. They've gotten by so far in life. But guess what? Next week, they may get sick. Or maybe you're talking to someone about the business and they have a job and it's paying them and they're satisfied. But maybe they lose their job, or maybe some expense comes up and they're needing to create another stream of income. If you treat people right and you truly love people, you tell them, I understand. Can I just check back with you and keep you updated on my business? Most people, if they're a friend or someone that you know, sure, I'm happy for you to do that. And then you never know when the time is going to change. But at the core of everything is look for the right people. Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for this time that we've had together. I hope that you have learned something, but more than just learning something, I hope you will apply it to your life, so you too can live extraordinary on your journey through life, helping others and living the life that you were created to live. So on behalf of my wife, Holly, our daughter, Alexandra, and myself, we want to thank every life and health coach in Trévo. Wow, what an amazing job you're doing, is sharing the power of Trévo. And you know, our business is in a place where our future is bright, and we're looking forward to celebrating you as you create success in Trévo and help others along the way. Thank you so much, and God bless you.